Welcome to K-May Crochet. I'm your host Karen here at the K-May Studio, and I want to thank you for clicking on my channel if you're new here, and welcome back to my returning viewers or subscribers. Here at K-May, I like to share with you a little knowledge about crochet that I know and what's going on in my local yarn stores. Crochet alongs, I like to share patterns and other creators of those patterns and makes that I have made and what's on my hook, to tutorials and all things crochet, and what's up with my shop where I sell my plushies at, and updates. So today I did a video on Monday about a certain yarn that Michaels is not going to be carrying anymore, and is what they said. And I went online, and yeah, over on Michaels online store, you could select certain colors, but the color that I needed was no longer available. So, and that's the Big Twist Baby Bear yarn. So I don't know if they're going to change that back to the Loops and Threads Baby Cub yarn. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, it was very heartbreaking because I really needed that yarn. So I had to look at what I had on my wall and what I had that I had in duplicate yarn. So I had 2 skeins of this Bernat blanket yarn, and this yarn is called terracotta. It's a super bulky yarn. So if you can imagine going from a regular 6 bulky yarn to a super, you can imagine what I'm about to show you. So it took me 2 days to finish this, to make it, finish it. So here is Evie. He is massive, huge. The one I have at the shop is only 12 inches tall. This is like 18 inches tall. Where is my tape measure? So of course, you know, I quoted a price, and you know, I'm not going to go back on it, but this is like a $65 plushie. And I have my tape measure here. And let's see if I can stand him up. Stand up. I had to tack in his tail so his tail wasn't drooping. Why are you not standing? Okay. So, okay, come on. You were standing just a few minutes ago. So I don't know if you can still see me, but this is to the table. And yeah, as you can see, I don't know if it's in the screen, but from the table where his feet are, it's 16 inches. Let me do it this way. So uncoordinated today, I tell you. So yeah, his head is about 15, the way his head is tilted, but to his tip of his ear is 19, and his tip of his tail is like, I don't know, about 16 tall. And he's probably where are we today? I don't know. Yeah, so he's like 23 or 21. I don't know. He's massive is all I know. But Of course, I had to use more fiber fill to fill him. He is quite heavy. I know he's probably over maybe about 2 pounds. I did not weigh him. But yeah, he is massive. So what I had to do is cinch in his front legs because when I sewed them on and I followed the directions, and his size and weight, he didn't want to stand, he wanted to sploot. Same thing with his back legs, so I had to reinforce the back legs so they could stay together. And then his tail was like down to here, so I had to tack up his tail, and I should have tacked up his head as well. I might still be able to do that. I still have time. And then look at his massive ears. I mean, his head is as big as mine or bigger. And then of course the instructions tell you to do the felted eyes and the nose, and then doing the embroidery on the mouth and the eyebrows. I was trying to make him look like his eyebrows are like happy eyebrows, not mean or mad eyebrows. But yeah, he's pretty massive. So with this pattern, I bought this book at Barnes and Noble, and I paid $21.99 for the book. And I've shared this book many times. And there's Evie. So again, if you buy this book, it's for acrylic. Acrylic makes. I do chenille, so they come out bigger, which I don't mind. But if you're gonna do this and use blanket yarn, I'm gonna forewarn you, they're gonna be huge. So I think my customer / friend, we meet once a month at our luncheon, I think she's gonna love this. And then I surface crocheted the fur yarn. So yeah, and then the white tip. So thank God I had some yarn to rescue this project. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it's emergency, but it was an urgency that I was able to get this one done. So I'm able to check that one off my list. And the second, make for the same customer, friend, is Magikarp. So I think he came out pretty good. And again, I used the, it's called Juicy Couture Luxe Velour yarn for the base of the body in color red. This again was from Joann's. It was priced regularly at $9.99, and I paid $5 for it, and it had 107 yards. So I had just enough to do the body, and then I used Premier Just Chenille yarn for the yellow parts, for the bottom fin and the top fin. And then the barnacles, I guess they're calling this. And then I used the white chenille. And both of these just chenilles I got at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And so far they're still holding at $1.25. And I did that in white. Now this one was a lot of sewing. So what you do is you make the body, you start here, you do chains, and then you work all the way to the back, and you close it off. Then you make 2 white back fin, and then you make the separate, the outside of the fin, the edging, and then this one looks like a crown. So you make that separate. You make the bottom one separate. And then you make 4 of these white. And you sew them together. And you make these separate. And then you make the lips for the mouth. And it instructs you to make the red felt and the pink felt for the mouth and the tongue, and the whites of the eye. And then it instructs you to just use a marker to make the black iris. And then there is surface embroidery for the scales. So, and then on the bottom, scales. So yeah, this one took, so Evie took 2 days. This took 3.5 days. Because there's a lot of parts to this. A lot of sewing and sewing together. So yeah, you make the body. Oh, and then this band here is another strip that you do chain work on. The reds all the way around the fins is chained and then worked back. And then once you have all the parts made, then you start sewing them on. So you sew on the side fins, you sew on the back fin. The back fin I had to reinforce with more stitches so it didn't flop. And sewed the top fin on, and the dorsal fin and the bottom fin. And then all I did was I used the 6000 glue, which works on everything, and it holds very well. And then I sewed on the barnacles, or the feelers, or whatever you want to call this. And then, of course, I sewed on the stripe here and embroidered the fin, or the scales. So this one measured, let me see, from the tip of the back fin to the tip of the mouth is like 16 inches. I don't know if I could show that holding this up. So yeah, it's like 16 inches. And then the height of it is 16 inches. So yeah, it's a 16-inch square. And how wide is it? Did I hear, how wide is it? Let's see, how wide are you? About 6 inches, 6 or 7 inches. If you go from tip of the fin. So yeah, even though this was a lot of time and a lot of work, I enjoyed making this. It was fun. Evie, I mean, it was quick, even though it was huge. And not as much sewing, you know, you sew on the inside of the ear to the outside of the ear. You make the head, you make the body, you make the tail, you make the forelegs and the rear legs. And then you sew the head to the body. And then you sew the front legs and then the back legs. Then you sew on the tail, and then you sew on the ears. So yeah. And I've made an Evie before, or Firefox is what I'm selling when I'm calling it at the shop. And yeah. So I've already made one, so I knew going forward about, you know, what the steps were and how to crochet it. So yeah, that was fun. Oh, and then I used, this is a Bernat Brown. I don't have the label anymore, but that was the inner ear of the Eevee. Ugh. The chocolate brown, I guess. This is all I had left. And so this is what was left after doing Eevee. So I had one skein. It didn't have a band on it. I bought it without a band, but I used, when I purchased it, they scanned this twice. So anyway, so yeah, this was what was left. And I want to say maybe I used a quarter of the yarn. So yeah, make sure that you have enough yarn, multiple skeins of yarn when you do these projects, because it takes more than you know or that you think. So I finished Eevee last night. I finished the fish on Friday. Today is Wednesday. Yeah, I finished Eevee on Monday, and I finished the fish on Sunday. And here we are, Wednesday. I did do a video on Monday and upload it yesterday. So I got I sold an item on my eBay shop, and they offered me a lower price than what I was selling it for, because I have the option of for an offer. I will accept an offer at such and such price range. So I accepted it, and I don't know if you can see me doing this, but I sold an 3D printed dragon egg, and inside is the orange baby dragon. And this is Diddy Dex dragon. Who was the creator? Jody? I forget, but I'm sorry. But it's a paid pattern, so this is the Diddy Dex baby dragon. He fits in your palm, and these are so cute. They came out so adorable. And then these are yellow fine glitter egg eyes. I didn't paint these. They came like that from the manufacturer. And I do believe these are 15 millimeter eyes. And the yarn I used was the Just Chenille yarns. And then this one is white with gold glitter band or metallic band. And that's acrylic. And I think, and it's way up there. So I don't remember the brand. I think it was Red Heart yarn. And I bought it around Christmas time. So yeah, his wings are so adorable. And the person that bought this, let's see, let me bring up my eBay shop. Okay, so this is going out, this with the egg. And if you are a viewer, thank you very much for your purchase. This is going out to Felicia in New York. So yeah, I appreciate it if you are a viewer. And I will be getting this out to you after I finish my video here today, Wednesday. And get out into the mail ASAP. So yeah, that was nice. I normally sell them for $24. And I accept her offer at $21. So yay, I made a sale. I was going to sell on Etsy, and I had issues with my my shop setup or whatever it was. I had, so when I first started this channel, I had an account for Etsy, and it was a different name, and I wanted to change it, but evidently there was a problem with that, and I kind of messed up my Etsy shop. And also, what I've heard was a lot of people that were selling on Etsy are not wanting to sell physical items there because they're being gouged with all the fees and stuff. And yes, eBay charges fees when you sell your item, but it's not that bad, and I incorporate that in the item anyway. So, but yeah, that was exciting, waking up to a sale today. But yeah, if you guys are interested, I have an eBay shop. It's K-Make Crochet. And I did get feedback. Some of them said, thank you very much for quick shipping on adorable stuffies. Oh, stuffy sticks. Yeah, she got the amigurumi sticks. That was the last thing that sold a week or two ago. So, I follow you on Instagram, tagged you in the post I've already made. Aww. PSLY. Oh, PLS Yarn Barn. So, yeah. Just supporting my eBay shop, and I do appreciate that so much. And let me go back. I'm still trying to see if I can get all my my listings up so I can show you. Okay, wow, this is kind of small. So yeah, I have, they're kind of like in order. I don't know if you could see, but that's what my page looks like. Let me see if I can scroll down. So yeah, I don't know how to get them all on one page, but I have, these are the dragons and stuff. I have, what was it, 87? Oh, no, I have 98 items so far. And before I had my shop, I had probably like 200 or more items. But yeah. So if you're ever interested, go check me out on there, and if there's anything that you like or want, or if you're Christmas shopping or birthday shopping. And I do offer offers. So I'm easy to work with, and I try to get my items out to shipping quickly, because I know I'm a buyer as well, and I do understand quick shipping and everything arriving safely in one piece. So yes. Also, and I can't see the screen, I have you turned around so you could see lettering facing forward. So I don't know how many minutes this has been. And then I wanted to go over my sales at the shop, and I was quite taken back with my sales. These are all the, let me go in order. This is new. Sorry, I should have had all this rearranged better than I do now. So yeah, this was my first list that I have to make a list for the owner to make me sticky labels. So, and then she gave me this one back that she finished it. And that was, I started selling in January 3rd. This one don't have a date on it. And then, let's see, was that the same? Yeah, it was January 4th when I made a written list. And then I made more. This doesn't have a list. So this, yeah, I don't have a date on that. And then I made more. And for some reason, my screen printed 2 pages. But yeah, no date on that either. So yeah, so I've been like really busy making plushies and making lists for her to make. This was that was January 8th. This is January 18th. January 26th. Yeah, I got smart. I started putting the date on it. This is March 20th, which I think was the last time I brought anything in, and that was right after when I got so sick for like 2 weeks. And this is the one where I put in the Evolution Fox, and then the Fire Lizard, which is the Charizard, and then the Electric Mouse, which is the Pikachu, and then the Bunny Peeps. I made 6 of those. So yeah, I'm selling those characters for $45 for the Pokemon related or similar items for $45, and the Bunny Peeps, because Easter's right around the corner, I'm only asking $8 for those. And let me go and grab one, because I had one that I kept. So yeah, the reason why I kept this one, yeah, this is a peep. The reason why I kept this one is I had the eyes too low. So the other ones I just popped up the eyes a little bit taller. So I kept this one behind. And I usually try to do that, make one to keep for reference and then sell the rest. So my first check that I got, my first sales check that I got from the shop, let's see, is this the right one? Yeah. I sold, that was in February 12th. That's February 12th. And it says 89. I thought it was like 100, but okay, 89, I'll take it. And that was my first check. And what they do is, like, I started in January, and they pay out the next month on the 15th. So these basically sold in January, and I received a check in February. So, so the first thing I sold was the Dragon Baby for $12, and it's just the dragon itself. She has another vendor there that sells 3D printed plastic toy items. So she just wanted me to do the bring in crochet items. So that one sold for $12, and then I sold one of my frogs on the swing. I sold 2 of those, and they're green. They're like this size, and they're on a chain, crochet chain with a little seat. And I think I had the chains about this long. I sold 2 of those, and the total of that was $20. So I think I sold them $10 each. Hammy the Hamster. Let me grab one because I kept that one as well. Might as well bring this one. So yeah, Hammy the Hamster. This is a paid pattern, and I don't remember the creator. I have another video explaining all the makes that I made this last year. But yeah, so I kept this one because his face was a little bit wonky, and I didn't like the way the nose came out. So he's my mascot here. And then I sold a hen or rooster. You could make it a hen or rooster. It was probably the hen. I sold one for 10, and it was the smaller one, not the one that has a hole or a pouch where you put the little chickadee in. Then I sold a little bit more. So I sold the hen for 10, and then I sold Peppy Skunk. So what I did was I had the, I think it was Stacy Makes Squirrel, and which I made as well, and they're in the shop. But I used that pattern to make the skunk, and that sold right away, and I was shocked. I sold that one for 16. And then I sold a small octopus, which I kind of showed you that I have listed in my shop as well. That one I sold one for 10. And then I sold one of the 12-inch large spider, jumping spider. That one went for 15. I sold a white egg with chick for 10. And they're about, they're about this big, the egg. And then you lift up the egg top, because I kind of sewed the egg to the bottom, and there's a little chick in there. It's yellow with white fur material, kind of like this fur that I put on the baby chicks. And that, what did I say that sold for? $10. And then a yellow ducky, which is about this size. I don't have one with me. Again, it's in my other videos if you're interested in looking at that. I think I have one ducky left. I have like 4 of them. So that one sold for 7. And I do believe some of these were on sale because of Valentine. I told her to go ahead and put, at that time, 25% off, just to get my name and my visibility out there. So, okay. So I did. I made 105, and that's net pay. And the shop got $9.67 from that. So that's not bad. I think it's like 15%, if that makes any sense. So I was happy with that. And then my second month, which was for February, and I got paid out March 6th. I didn't pick up the check until it was like March 20th. And I made $111.65. So yeah, that's not bad. $211.65. March 6th, and that was for February sales. So my next check will be this month for next month in March. So in February, I sold a bird on swing. I sold 2 of those for 20, so it's $10 each. I sold I sold 3 baby dragons. That came to $36, so they're like $12. Let me look over here. Yeah, $12 each. I've sold 2 frogs on swing for $10. And then I sold one of the green sea turtle medium for $15. And they're probably about like this tall with a little head. I don't offhand remember the creator of that. It's an old pattern. And I think it was a tutorial on YouTube like 2 years ago. So that one was a free pattern if you watch the tutorial. So the next thing I sold was another Hemi hamster, and that was $6. I did, so in January I sold him for $5, and he sold really quick. So I'm like, you know, I could probably sell it for $6. And I sure did. I sold it for $6. And it took maybe like 15-20 minutes to make. Really easy. And then I sold a hen with pouch for $12. And then I sold the electric mouse. Now this one's interesting because when I brought that in, when I dropped it off in February, she told me that she was taking certain items from all the vendors in her shop to a pop-up sale at one of the local junior high school. They're doing Dog Days of Glendale, and they had a lot of activities there, and she sold it there. I mean, she said it went real quick for $40. So I upped the price a little bit to $45 in the other ones that I brought in later. And I told her if they don't sell at that price, I can lower it. So you always start high and then go down from there. Because I'm still new to the area, but that area in Glendale is quite busy. There's a lot of foot traffic there. People with young families, they go out on the weekends to get a bite to eat, and they walk around. It's like a big square, and all the shops are there for everyone. There's always something for someone in that area, all kinds of different shops. It's almost like, you know how when you go out to a farmer's market and everybody has their booths or their pop-up tents and stuff? It kind of reminds me of that, but they're in buildings and they're surrounding the whole park area. And they're rebuilding the library, and then there's a brand new office building behind it. So yeah, a lot of changes going on over there. And even with that construction going on, it's not stopping people from going to the shops to buy. So anyway, then I sold Pipsqueak the parakeet. This one I have on my eBay at the moment. And I've sold 2 of these for $32. So what's half at $16 each. So really excited about that. And then I sold the squirrel from Stacy Makes. I do believe Stacy Makes squirrel. I called it the squiggle squirrel because you know how squirrels are always squiggling around. That one went for $14. I had a big stingray about this big with the tail, and it was blue and white, and that one sold for $14. And then I sold 4 white egg with chick, $10 each, so that was $40. And the gross I made $249, and the payout was $211.65. And the shop received $22.89. Now they do charge also for if somebody uses their credit card, you know, for swipes and stuff, but I'm fine with all that. I'm at least selling my items because as you all know, I don't do markets. I don't go out and set up a tent and set up my tables and all my plushies and stuff. I'm not able to do that by myself. I physically aren't able to do that. So I thought real long and hard. I had all this plushies and I had them on eBay, but you know, eBay, they're slowly coming around to creative makers, you know, crafty makers and stuff. But eBay is more for resellers, you know, that buy used items or new items, but not really makes, if that makes any sense. That's why people go to Etsy, because it's geared for the makers. But they're slowly coming along, which I'm happy about. So, yes, so that was really nice. And I will be able to put that money back into fiber fill and more yarn. So, yep. And I love seeing the big smiles on people's faces when, you know, when they receive something that I've made and the excitement they get. My grandkids, oh, they see the Eevee and the Magikarp. They got me a list of things that they want me to make. And I told them that, okay, I'll make you these, but they'll be for either a holiday or a birthday gift or a Christmas gift. Because I was making them just to give, you know, and because now I have a shop and I'm trying to concentrate on keeping that booth full, and my eBay is starting to pick up, and yeah, and then my YouTube channel is starting slowly, you know, gaining traction. And that only takes, you know, time and effort. I've been putting 2 videos out a week, but then, you know, life gets in the way, you know, being sick and recovering from that. So, but I'm on the mend and feeling much better. Just looking on my list of what I wanted to touch bases with. Okay. Yep. So, my plans for more market makes. I found some, and I think I mentioned this in another video, but I want to start making small things because I have a lot of big things at the market. And they are selling, but they're higher price and they take a little bit more time to sell. So I went on Premier's web page or website, and I went to their free pattern section. And right up front, they had these. They're called the Forest Friends. So I want to make some of these. Depending on how big they are. Forest Friends keychains, free pattern from Premier. And I did print this on my printer. So the maker of all these is by Amy Gunnarsson from Premier. She works at Premier Yarns. So yeah, there's a fox. There's a frog. Looks like a squirrel. An owl. I think the owl is very cute. And a bunny. But unfortunately, you know, today is Wednesday and Easter Sunday. I won't have any time to make any more bunnies. That's why I made those peeps. I forgot how many I made. 6 or 8 in different colors. And then I had this pattern on my phone from over a year ago, and I totally forgot it was on my phone. And I went ahead and printed this one out, and I want to try making a Toku the toucan. Isn't that cute? So yeah, it looks like it's acrylic. Size is 5.5, so probably about 10 to 11 inches if you use chenille. Oh yeah, and then these, I think they're as small as your palm. Let's see. Does it say anywhere how big they are? Yeah, see, and then here's a picture of one. This is why I'm thinking they're smaller than your palm, because she's got it hooked to a side of a purse, or you could put it as a backpack buddy. So I thought they'd be cute to make, and I know they'll do well at the shop. And then I printed out in black and white. I'm trying to save my ink. And here's the Cora, the red panda, and Kit the raccoon. So one is gray and white and the other one is red. But I think it's the same. Yeah, here. Well, maybe not quite the same, but there they are. I think this would have been the red and cream colored, and this would be the white and gray one. So I'd be making that. And then, oh my gosh, I've always wanted one of these dogs. Pappy the sailor pug. Isn't that cute? Yeah. And also this is for acrylic. The size is, oh, it says 23 centimeters. I don't know what that would be in inches. Probably about 6 inches. Doesn't look very, look, there's another picture of him. So when I make this, I probably won't make the outfit, just the dog. And then I love pandas. So this is Bobo the panda. Isn't that cute? So adorable. So I'm going to give my, yep, 6.5 inch or 23 cm. So that pug is 6.5. Or is that 8.5? I don't know. I can't tell. It's kind of, it's looking like 8.5. Kind of faded. And then here's another one. Sheena the sheep. And this one is 7 inches in acrylic. So you can imagine how big it is in chenille. Unless I use this, the Just Chenille from the Dollar Tree, because it's the thinnest chenille that I have in stock. And then I thought this was cute. Evan the elephant. So adorable. And they all have different creators. But once I make them, I'll go through them, just generically going through them. That is 6 inches. Look at that, the side view of it. Isn't that cute? It looks like a lot of sewing too. And I thought, oh, this is, I have to make this. This kind of reminds me of my daughter, because back in the day, she loved, when we lived in Louisiana, they had a bunch of these all over outside. And they have some here too. Gertie the gecko. So adorable. Yeah, this is the first page. 7 inches in acrylic. So, and I don't remember what source I used. Like I said, it was a couple of years ago. And then still again, I still want to make the Stella and Stanley the crocheted dinosaur. One is in stripes and the other one's has dots. And the dot, you make the circles and you sew them on. So, or I may just leave it plain. And this says it will be, uses 1 ball of red heart amigurumi Susan Bates crochet hook, 2.25, so it's probably acrylic. And it'll be about 4.25 by 4.25 by 4. That's including the tail. And then I love these puppies, the corgi, baby corgi. So that'll be interesting to make. He looks pretty easy to make. So yeah, and I do have a book to make dogs, but those patterns are like the Pokemon book. There's a lot of parts to it and takes days to finish, but they're more realistic. So I think that is it. Going forward, I want to do some eye painting for the safety eyes and some more tutorials, and yeah, that is everything. So I hope you all are doing well, and I want to thank you for stopping by and watching my video, and I wish everybody a very happy, great day. Take care. Sorry. If you are a returning or coming back viewer, oh my God, no.